Lori Lordich. I am a registered dietitian. I work in student health services, and my main role is to meet with students individually to provide nutrition consultations for a variety of nutrition-related reasons.
My name is Amanda Buell. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Assistant Director of the Wellness Resource Center. And in my role, I supervise a lot of our student staff members, and I also manage our peer education program. And then I'm also the office's sexual health content area expert.
My name is Dr. Sabrina Minhas, and I am an assistant professor in the Department of Podiatric Medicine. In my role, I teach academic classes and I instruct students in our clinic. I am also the advisor for several student clubs.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm an occupational therapy graduate student here at Temple, and I'm doing my capstone this semester at the Wellness Resource Center.
My name is Mark Coloco, and I'm the Director of Student Engagement and Career Advancement with the University's Graduate School. In my role with the Graduate School, I support graduate students across the university with our student programming as well as our appointment services.
My name is Gloria McGillen. I am a staff psychologist and the coordinator of group programs at Tuttleman Counseling Services, Temple's Student Counseling Center.
From a nutrition standpoint, so sometimes we miss some of those foods and meals that we had at home. So if you have a kitchen in your apartment and you're new to campus, really, setting a plan to grocery shop and maybe even recreating some of your meals that were comfortable at home, but also expanding your palette and kind of trying some new things in the new area that you're in, new restaurants, new trucks, new vendors, things like that.
Yeah, well, I think just first acknowledging that it really is a big transition and really owning whatever feelings you have, with non-judgment. When we're feeling really anxious about something, it can also be an excitement about, a new challenge or new opportunity. When we're also leaning on community is really helpful. So seeking out people who have maybe been through this before, asking for advice, watching videos like this, and connecting to resources can all be really helpful.
Grad school is supposed to feel different from undergrad. It's a different type of learning, and you're allowed to give yourself the grace and time to adjust to this new environment. I would also advise these students to structure their days and set realistic goals and expectations for themselves, goals that are attainable. Also, to make sure that you're prioritizing your mental health and well-being, and that you make sure to practice self-care.
This would be to learn about and utilize the resources that are available to you. I think there's so much out there that people don't know about that can be really beneficial in navigating the transitional periods, and also to put yourself out there and find a good support system of different people going through the same thing you are.
Really recommend students to kind of get plugged in to the many student organizations through student activities. We also have a really great diversity office, Ideal, and they run events every single month that are about connecting students and representing different identities. So I say get connected with them.
And I think particularly within the graduate student lifestyle, because people are often so busy, knowing that getting care can be accessible in that way often brings down the barriers to contemplating that as a resource for themselves.
Yeah, so I think that I approach all of this work with knowing that people need the resources to make informed decisions about their lives. It really speaks to my work at the Wellness Resource Center because our work is all about educating students to find coping mechanisms and skills and resources that work for them.
I think one of the biggest barriers that we see sort of relates to how therapy is often represented culturally. It's not uncommon that people have the idea that if they're connecting to therapy, that this is going to be a pretty lengthy investment of time, several months or more, when really a lot of common mental health concerns can be addressed in brief treatment, sometimes lasting 4 to 6 sessions.
So it really drives my passion for advocating for student well-being is seeing just how much pressure that these students are under every day. So I want to be the kind of voice that supports and helps them. I feel like there's this myth that Everyone has to succeed in school. You have to sacrifice your health, happiness, or identity to get to your end result and your goals, which really is not the case in reality. In actuality, when students feel seen, supported, and actually feel human, they thrive more. Students need to know that they're not alone, and it's okay to ask for help, to slow down, and sometimes to redefine what success looks like.
So I did grad school 2020 to 2022, so very peak COVID times, and it really was a great opportunity to learn about when I needed to seek out resources, when I needed to seek out support. So I think that's always a great lesson for graduate students, is seeking out and learning about what's available to you in terms of resources. And then I'll also say that sometimes in grad school, the pacing can feel a little bit different than undergrad or other experiences. So understanding when, your organizational style or something like that isn't working, and being okay with trying something new, letting yourself know that it's okay to try something, fail, and then maybe try something new to, make sure you're being as organized and successful as you can be.
I think occupational therapy can help graduate students with developing healthy habits and routines. We can help with organizing your schedule and building up skills to help with de-stressing, prioritizing what's important to you, and finding ways to make those daily routines easier for you.
A couple tips, planning to grocery shop regularly, making sure you have good healthy food on hand. Also just being aware of what your daily energy needs are. A lot of times that's really just that first session of meeting with a graduate student. That's sort of the content we go over, is educating the student on what their dietary needs are, how to create a balanced meal, how to create a balanced plate, along with meal planning meals, meal prepping, and things that go along with that. Yeah.
Normal for students to feel a little bit unsure about what their next steps are going to be after finishing their graduate program. So the best thing to do is actually just take a minute to stop and actually reflect on what have you done over the last couple of years. Even just write down the experiences that have given you the most joy. As you write down those experiences, as you write down what you feel like you learned the most, or what you were able to do that you were really proud of, that's going to show you the skills that are actually going to make you really competitive for job opportunities. So you want to do some reflection on what experiences have most stood out to you. And then if you need support, you can always reach out to our offices even after you graduate to get more ideas on how to go about the job search.
Sleep has such a vast range of impacts on mood, concentration, motivation, our feelings of positive connection to ourselves and others. If there's one tip that I could give to every graduate student, it's pay attention to the quality of your sleep. See if you're hitting that recommended roughly 7 hours. If you aren't, think about ways that you can promote healthy sleep for yourself. It's going to pay back dividends across many different areas of life.
So obviously, moving and just being away from home can sometimes cause some homesickness or feeling lonely.
Belonging is all about, being able to feel like you can be yourself, your authentic self. It's all about, really feeling like you're accepted. And the hope in graduate school is that everyone feels very much bonded together because you're all pursuing the same academic experience. But, there's a lot of different parts of us as a person. And so there might be other parts of you that wants to be expressed and wants to be able to connect with other people. And one of the things that's great about Temple University is that we have so many student organizations.
This can also foster a sense of community, also increase socialization, meeting other people, making new friends.
We have a lot of great events that happen throughout the graduate school. I'm actually going to bring up 2 of them. So at the beginning of each year, we actually have our graduate student welcome event, which is an event where all graduate students can come together and be able to kind of connect and network and meet new students who are also starting graduate programs. And then actually to close out our academic year, we actually have our graduate symposium for research. So that symposium is a great opportunity to hear all the research that students are doing. So I recommend doing one of those events. Can really help you to see the graduate student community that we have here at Temple.
Mental health challenges can be addressed by using Temple's mental health and counseling services, contacting the Wellness Resources Center, and utilizing nutritional health services, and maximizing all of the other free services that Temple provides for its students.